What you're hearing out of Washington is nothing but a lie. It is nothing but a lie, a very well-crafted lie, a lie that is on teleprompters all the time, but a lie none the same. They tell you, Barack Obama, people said to me a year ago, you're just trying to scare everybody saying he's a Marxist and he's a socialist. We're not going to be socialists. I said, would you listen to him? He is telling you what he's going to do, and everybody just refuses to listen. I'm going to show you something that he said last night, and then you tell me what the truth is, because I'm going to show you something he said earlier without a teleprompter. Listen to what he said about cap and trade last night.
It has to protect consumers from huge spikes in electricity prices.
Mm-hmm. Okay, has to protect people from huge spikes in electricity prices. Kind of important. He said we got to do it right now. I mean, there's some details that have to be worked out. Details like huge spikes in energy prices. Well, I suppose that's just a little detail. I'm sure that's just easy to work out. And I'm sure that he's noodled it and he's got the plan. Or does he? This is what he said January 2008. Listen carefully.
Under my plan of a cap and trade system,
no prompter,
electricity rates would necessarily skyrocket.
Ooh,
even, regardless of what I say about whether coal is good or bad, because I'm capping greenhouse gases, coal-powered plants, natural gas, you name whatever the plants were, whatever the industry was, they would have to retrofit their operations. That will cost money. They will pass that money on to consumers.
Got it? It's a little detail. Why is cap and trade so important? Because massive, massive socialized government is impossible to pay for unless you get all kinds of new invisible gas revenue. Then, with all that invisible gas revenue, everything will be fine, which leads you down this road. Either our president doesn't understand capitalism, doesn't understand that energy prices skyrocketing, coal is bad. Stu, help me out. I believe it's 60% of our energy comes from coal.
It's something in that general
I
area.
mean, it's a staggering amount of energy comes from coal. So either he doesn't understand that you having to spend more money for your electricity, businesses having to spend more electricity money, having those cap and trade bills passed all the way down, because trickle economics works when it's coming down as debt. It's weird, huh? He either doesn't understand that that would kill the economy in such a fragile state, that would kill it, just like the unions would kill it. Did you hear that, is it UPS or no, it's FedEx. FedEx is not going to buy any new jets. They're holding off on buying new jets. Why? Because of card check. They won't be able to afford them if they do card check. Well, now what happens to all of the jobs that Boeing would lose? What happens to all of the jobs of these new planes being built? It's trickle down. Now, either Barack Obama doesn't understand it, he doesn't, which is frightening, that we have a president that needs a teleprompter because he has no clue how the economy actually works, or he doesn't care because he doesn't believe in a free market system. He says he believes in a free market system, and yet everything he's doing is to control or destroy a free market system. At the same time, he's saying, by the way, I got to be able to take over more companies, not just banks. I got anything that might hurt the economy. That way the government can go in there and work the contracts. That way the government can... We're just going to give the president Bernanke, who doesn't work for you but works for a coalition of bankers and The guy who can't figure out how to pay his taxes. We're going to give them the power just to walk into companies and say, you know what, you're too big, you're in danger, we're going to take you over. We're going to redo these contracts. You got to be kidding me. Maybe it's about that. Maybe it's that he doesn't understand it. Maybe he believes in big business as long as it's run by the government. Gee, that sounds like Marxism. I remember where I've heard that. That's Karl Marx. And it fits right in with, let's eat the rich. The rich are the ones who brought us all the problems. The rich were the ones who have done everything. They've done all of this to us. The rich, who most likely in this country, I believe it's about 90% in this country, grew up poor. Grew up in modest families. Didn't start out rich. They were the entrepreneurs. And yes, you are right about one thing, but not in the way you think, Barack Obama. Those people are the ones responsible for where we are today. But in a good way. Government is, in the bad way, why we are where we are today. You tell me the Fannie and Freddie story that didn't go awry. And real quick, he was trying to make a case that they needed this power last night. Can you just play cut one real quick? I'm not going to play all of it. Real quick. Cut one.
Why do you think the public should sign on for another new sweeping authority for the government to take over companies, essentially?
Listen to this answer.
Keep in mind that it is precisely because of the lack of this authority that the AIG situation has gotten worse. I understand that AIG is not a bank. It's an insurance company.
Listen.
If it were a bank and it had effectively collapsed, then the FDIC could step in, as it does with a whole host of banks, as it did with IndyMac, and in a structured way renegotiate contracts, get rid of bad assets, strengthen capital requirements, resell it on the private marketplace. So we've got a regular...
Stop. Really, it's really interesting that he used IndyMac for that. Why haven't you done that with Bank of America? Why haven't you done that with Citicorp? It effectively collapsed. AIG did not effectively collapse. It was in no worse shape than Citicorp was. It was the same shape, bad shape. If you had that, well, we're just trying to do this just for this, because it's an insurance company. Well, wait a minute. What was it, Stu? Was it Goldman? Which one was it that wasn't a bank? It was American Express. It wasn't a bank. In the cover of night, they made it a bank. Oh, we're going to give you, you're going to be a bank. That way, American Express could get money, could get bailout, could get this help. They do everything in the cover of night. They just change it to anything they want. You have the power now to do it with the banks. Why did you need extra power for the banks? Because that's not what you want to do. You want to control the banks. You want to control AIG. Gang, over 50% of the money that you put into AIG, you did, not voluntarily, they took it from you. They took it from you. They gave it to AIG, over 50% of that money. Forget about the $165 million bonuses. That's bullcrap. Oh, let's freak out about that. Let's go riot about that in the streets. Over 50% of the money you put in, billions of dollars, have gone overseas. Huh. Nobody was talking about breaking those contracts. Oh, we just owed those countries all overseas. Billions of dollars went overseas. Yeah, but again, grab your torch. $165 million to people that we owed.
This is the Glenn Beck